Abu Salik recorded an episode about Asmodeus, right? And he bleeped out who that character was, right? But he did say that it is a scholar from Najaf, right? So actually the Shias, they're actually following somebody, whoever that individual may be, they're following somebody potentially, for sure, because there are tons of scholars there, and all these scholars have huge followings. There's a group of people out there that are actually following a demon, devil, incarnated in human form in Najaf. Yeah, and that's a scary thought.
Absolutely, and one of the most disturbing facts is that when they follow these demons, it's as if they don't think about what the Ahlul Bayt has told them. It's as if like Satan doesn't exist anymore. I mean, can you imagine who's on the side of Satan?
Yeah, no, for sure.
On the apparent side. You know,
well, it seems like the scholars in Najaf are, because one of the demons who is possessing one of these scholars is Asmodeus. Asmodeus is one of the high demons who is supporting the devil himself. And obviously Asmodeus is not coming in his old body, right? And the body that he possessed, or the body that he impersonated, was the body of Solomon, right? So right now he's in a new body. Imam Hussain, who is a complete opposite of Asmodeus, is also back, because we just went over the hadith the other day about how this great personality, who all of the scholars cry for, who all of the scholars beat themselves and encourage their followers to cut themselves and beat themselves and go on every year to the shrine of Karbala on Arba'in or Ashura to commemorate and cry for Imam al-Hussein. Well, guys, I mean, the fact of the matter is, stop your crying and stop your beating yourselves and stop cutting yourselves, because Imam al-Hussein is back. He has his return. He has had his return. And guess what? Imam al-Hussein is actually calling you against these people who told you, hey, go and pour out your money to the shrine of Imam al-Hussein. Go to him because he's like a wish-granting genie who was locked up behind these bars. And, keep on crying for him. And inshallah, the Mahdi is going to come. Well, the Mahdi did come, and Imam al-Hussein did come. And the Shia world, and especially those scholars in Najaf, are now fighting against him. So let's see what this book has to say. What does Dr. Ali have in this conversation with Ahmed al-Hassan regarding al-Hussein? He says that there is a tradition that states that al-Hussein, from him his peace, returns in the time of the Mahdi, who does not have any children. He says, is this a true narration? The Imam, from him his peace, says, yes, it is true. The one who does not have any children from his loins, from his water. So then Dr. Ali, he asked this question, and obviously the Imam who does not have any children from his loins is the 12th Imam. Yet the 12th Imam apparently has Imam al-Hussein coming from his loins. How does that make sense? Well, it makes sense because Abu Sadiq, from him his peace, had revealed to us that that this information about the soul world encompasses that the 12th Imam would be the father, the sole father of Imam al-Hussein. And that's something that we will go on in our episode concerning the soul family tree, where we have an amazing chart which talks about who is related to who in the soul world. And then he asks about the prophets. He says, do the prophets and messengers return in chronological order? He said, no, not necessarily. The return of the prophets and messengers in this incarnation is not chronological, and not one after the other, and not a certain order. And he gave an example. He said, perhaps Adam alayhi salam is from the loins of Joseph or Jesus in this time. So it's not necessary that Adam, being the first prophet, would be the first to return. As we know, al-Hussein, from him his peace, is the first to return, and it is not Adam, peace be upon him, who was the first to return. So the chronological order does not matter.
Exactly. You see that also as a reference to the Bible, the stories of Jesus. That when John the Baptist has died, Jesus is asking the companions, who do they say I am? John the Baptist has just died, so I'm sure there's a few prophets and messengers that should, if this was correct, that it has to be chronological order, that they should have incarnated into the body of Jesus before John the Baptist, who died recently, and obviously they were of similar age. So this is just something that just came to mind as you said that. And on the topic of Imam Hussein, I was just thinking about it when you were speaking about it then, because I come from a Shia background family, as you do, Hassan. And it's funny because, I speak to them, try to give them da'wah, but they don't want to hear it. And they say, we're busy with this, we're busy with that. But then they say, and Muharram's coming up. Uncle, please, why? Why tell me Muharram's coming up when I'm telling you Imam Hussein has returned? I literally live in the household of Ali Ashkar, the infant that was massacred. in Karbala, and he's returned with his father, who is al-Hussein, and they're now coming back to basically, perfect the earth and create divine justice state on earth, and they're calling for support. So, there's no need to cry anymore. Stop beating your chest and actually come make an effort and support him, instead of doing these little rituals at home and going about your day-to-day life. Like, for me, it's a real embarrassment. Like, the Muslim world out there needs to sort of wake up. And if there's any Shia watching, if you have friends that are Shia, then these supporters, then you should wake up and come and support, or at least look into the matters to give yourself a fair chance to actually be a true companion, a true Shia of the Ahlul Bayt. So I just wanted to get that off my chest, because it really bugs me that these guys.
It doesn't make any sense, man. Like, the idea is that it's just a problem that they don't even expect that the Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam can happen today. This appearance can happen today, and they don't expect. They're thinking maybe it's 50,000 years from now.
I think they're hoping for that too.
They're well, to a degree, because if you look into the scholars and what they actually say, the scholars of Shia Islam are not actually saying that actually this is it. The signs, the minor signs have all happened. Every single minor sign has happened, but we're still not in the end time. If all the signs, the minor signs have happened and they are check marked, then doesn't that mean we just finished the time before the appearance? Which means that right now we have entered into the time of the appearance itself. So why do we hear the scholars are on live daily saying that Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam is not here? He's like 50,000 years from now, easily 50,000 years from now. Don't worry about it right now. Just keep doing your zakat and hajj and stuff like that. Sleep. We'll take it for you. We'll answer. In fact, as the Sheikh says, yes, and you must have seen him in the shorts before, where he says, "It's on my neck. Leave it on me. I will answer Allah for you." I mean, doesn't that like shoots up all of the red flags that you have set up and Ahlul Bayt have set up for us? Be careful, the Ahlul Bayt said, be careful, be aware when you're walking, Satan is coming. Take enemy as your shaitan as your enemy. Where did we take shaitan as our enemy? To go into the Latmiya and to hit our chests? I mean, for 1,200 years, you've been hitting the chest of the Shia. Did that benefit you guys? Did that bring out the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam for you for 1,000-something years? It didn't, because it doesn't work. That's not what the Ahlul Bayt want. They've never asked the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam from us to actually just go out in the streets and turn their whole revolution, human revolution of the Ahlul Bayt, Imam Hussein's revolution, into hit your chest a little bit, hit your back with a couple of knives, start crying a little bit, eat food afterwards, go back home and recover and feel good about yourself. This is not what Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam stands for. This is what the mashayikh made you go through, so that they don't answer you when you go, hey, so you don't think about, hey, Sheikh, actually I have a question for you. How do we know Imam al-Mahdi when he appears? Imam al-Hussein, we know that there's a raja, that he's going to return. How do we identify Imam al-Hussein when he returns? How do we, what did the Ahlul Bayt say how you should identify? Why are the Shias today expecting Imam al-Mahdi himself to appear first, when all the narrations of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu salam talk about the appearance of the Yamani, talk about the appearance of the Egyptian, and who are these characters?
True.
Yamani is the successor of the Imam al-Mahdi.
And by the way, you know what's, and this is where I'm going to spoil everything now, right, is that Imam Ahmed al-Hassan from his peace in his old sermons, before he had disappeared in 2007, only to reappear with Abu Sadiq later, he himself said to the Shias, he said that they go to the tombs of al-Hussein crying out for Imam al-Hussein, and Imam al-Hussein is actually cursing them. Imam al-Hussein, the Yamani of the family of Muhammad, Ahmed al-Hassan from his peace, says that they go to the shrine of Imam al-Hussein while Imam al-Hussein is cursing them. Why? Because they are his killers. And these are the people that are destroying the reputation and the ideologies and what Imam al-Hussein from his peace stood up for. Imam al-Hussein called to the supremacy of God, while these people called to the supremacy of the people and to the supremacy of the scholars. Imam al-Hussein from his peace is someone today, by the way, because Dr. Ali Ghuraifi had asked concerning the birth of Imam al-Hussein and the infallible Imams, and he said it could be possible, and it is possible, and it is the case that a person who is not infallible who is a ma'soom, be born by normal parents who are not infallible. And then Imam al-Hussein would grow up and reach infallibility. He would remember who he is. And Dr. Ali Ghorifi, he asks, we know that the rank of al-Hussein and the Imams is, according to my knowledge, higher than the Mahdi's. So if my understanding is correct, then al-Hussein would have to return to this day and age at a higher rank than to just be a supporter or a believer in this call. Imam al-Hussein, from him his peace, would have to be someone who is a successor, as you mentioned. And that's what the hadith say. They say that Imam al-Hussein is actually meant to be the exact successor of the 12th Imam, and that Imam al-Hussein, from him his peace, is the one who buries, does ghusl and hunut for the 12th Imam. And the hadith even states that nobody but a successor can bury the Imam. Nobody but a successor can bury a successor. And then the Imam Ahmed al-Hassan says something very interesting in this book, page 142, pay attention. The Imam answers and he says, your understanding is correct, my son. Al-Hussein, from him alayhi salam, is Al-Hussein alayhi salam. My son, you want to reach a certain answer and I shall deliver it to you and put you at ease. And then Ahmed al-Hassan, he gives the big fireworks, he blows up everything, he makes us freak out. And when we heard this, we all freaked out, by the way. This is something that we heard back in 2015 and we were all stricken. And we actually learned a few things from Abu Sadiq that, like, when it led up to this point, we were like, oh my God, he was right, it makes sense. Ahmed al-Hassan says, I am al-Hussein. I am al-Hussein, the carrier of my grandfather's sword, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, Dhul Faqar, and the one who is victorious with the sword, which we know is knowledge, and the avenger of the family of Muhammad, peace be upon them, and the Imams and the Prophets and the Messengers, peace be upon them all. I am the one who is requesting vengeance for the blood of the Prophets and preferred ones and the Messengers, and all praises due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, that honored us and you with it. No one obtains this to be a part of this belief and call except that he has great luck. So already there's a bang for you. There is the great truth, which is Imam al-Hussein has returned, guys. He has returned as the Yamani. He returned as the Ahmed mentioned in the will of Prophet Muhammad, who succeeds the 12th Imam, Imam Muhammad ibn al-Hassan al-Askari. He is the al-Hussein who resurrects from his grave and succeeds the 12th Imam. Guys, it all comes together. It all comes together. And if you don't think it comes together, well, it's because you've been listening to your nonsensical scholars for way too long. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's because your scholars have brainwashed you to fight against the Mahdi. And that's why Ahmed al-Hassan asked, and he said to us, and that's why he said that they go to the shrine of Imam al-Hussein, but Imam al-Hussein is cursing him because he is al-Hussein. And the scholars of this time, they have done a huge injustice to Imam al-Hussein. They have turned him into a very magical, light being Hollywood figure that when he comes back, the people are not able to recognize him. And
seriously, it's such a disaster. And one of the things that I want to point out too, because like this is about reincarnation and about the Raja. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam is the one who's going to, as you said, wash the body of the Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, the 12th Imam Muhammad son of al-Hassan al-Askari alayhi salatu wasalam, and he's the one who's going to bury him. Can you tell me exactly which character would fit this narrative inside the Shia narrative? Which character? Which character is supposed to be sent by God and supposed to gather the believers and then supposed to be like the successor of the Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam? I mean, this character seems to be very mystical. It's like, oh, just al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam? Well, how are you going to identify him? Well, what is this character that's just coming out of nowhere and suddenly it's al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam? So you're saying to us, as we discussed in the last episode, the Shias generally, they say that it is actually a incarnation from the grave itself. The grave itself opens up and starts to come out. So we are still waiting for the evidence from the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, mind you, because we are Shias, brothers and sisters, we are Shia. we are actually lovers of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam. Ahlul Bayt warned us a great, great, great scary warning. They said our words carry many meanings. When it comes to the raj'ah, why should you believe the opinion of a scholar? Just tell me why, and I will accept you. Is it because they are better than as they say, they are better than all of the prophets and messengers of the sons of Israel? So they are better as they say, right? The narrations say, sometimes they use this hadith. They say that ulama'u shi'ati khayrun min anbiya bani Israel. The scholars of my Shia, our people, of our gathering, are better than the prophets of the sons of Israel. So they use a hadith like this. So is it Khomeini? Is it Khamenei? Is it Sistani? Sistani and Khomeini, by the way, and Khamenei, they disagree between each other. One of them wants democracy of America, and the other one wants the democracy of himself, which is not a democracy. Actually, it's a tyranny, a dictatorship. So you have two sects of Shia Islam that are not even agreeing on when is Ramadan, stuff like this. So how are we supposed to actually understand which of these mutashayyi'ah, these claimers to be Shia, are the ones that we're supposed to understand and follow? Mind you, in the end, the raj'ah of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam from the ground, as they say, it is still an opinion floating in the air. There is no ground to it. There is no roots that you can find for it. It is a tree that its roots are in the sky and it's dying. It's a dead tree. It's like it's going to turn into a rubble soon.
And this is why Ahmed Hassan in his sermons he compared the scholars of like the Hausa and these types level people of being like the corruption of salt, because these are the people that should be guiding you to Imam Mahdi, that should be guiding you to the Egyptian and the Yemeni that we spoke about. But instead they're just turning it into some sort of commercialization circus where you just do this, you just do that, you do these little rituals, just go back, live your life. Like Hussam, Adian, you guys are like on the front lines, you're on TikToks, you're on social medias, you confronting these, charlatans. Have you ever came across anyone that says, hey guys, look, we're living in the end times, this in the sign, 250 signs of Ahmadi has come true. So guys, let's work together and let's find the Yemeni and the Egyptian that come before Imam Mahdi so that we can go and support him all together, because, we are the scholars that he talked about so highly, and we're the ones that should be guiding you. Have you ever one majlis, one speech, one YouTube video, even like these street TikTok people, have you ever come across anyone that said anything like that? I mean, other than Sadiq?
Absolutely not. There's not a single person out there that says that we're living in the end times and goes full on force to find the Mahdi. But the only person, like you mentioned, the only person who did that was Abdullah Hashim Abu Sadiq. Abdullah Hashim Abu Sadiq, who from the very beginning, in the early 2000s, mind you, well, not the early, but like mid-2000s, late 2000s, was the one calling people towards the Ahlul Bayt. He made the Arrival series, he made the Arrived, he made so many series calling people to Ahlul Bayt, and not only calling them and helping them on their journey, he shared his journey with us and kept on going on his journey while documenting his journey for us to understand and for us to follow along. The only one. All of these other scholars are sitting on their butts, on their lazy butts, giving khutbahs, collecting khums and zakat, and enjoying their lives, while he was on the forefront, going to revolutions, going from country to country to learn, to find the Mahdi, how to identify the Mahdi, until one day he came across this book, Al-Haftar Sharif. And in this book, Al-Haftar Sharif, this was back in 2011, mind you, where he was documenting his journey, translating Al-Haftar Sharif, until he came to a point where he discovered the dawah of Imam Ahmed al-Hassan, from him is peace. And check this out. As soon as Ahmed al-Hassan had revealed to Abu Sadiq and to Dr. Ali Ghorifi that he is Imam Hussein, it says here, we all got goosebumps. So Abu Sadiq is saying this. He says, we all got goosebumps and we cried and we said, and I said, and Allah is a witness that I used to believe in that since many years ago, that Ahmed al-Hassan is Imam al-Hussein, from him is peace. Now, let me tell you something about that statement, because my God, I was one of those witnesses who saw that, and I'm pretty sure maybe you guys had too. Back in 2011, and subhanAllah, how it's so synchronistic it was at that time, where Abu Sadiq is translating Al-Haftar Sharif, and he comes across the door of al-Haftar Sharif that talks about the return of Imam Hussein, and it says about him that he seeks a modern city, and that modern city, it says in the hadith in al-Haftar Sharif, is al-Basra. He is searching for that modern city, al-Basra, and it gives us indication that he comes from al-Basra. Later, very shortly after, before he even publishes a new video, he is informed that there is a man by the name of Imam Ahmed al-Hassan, who is the Yamani who comes from al-Basra. And as soon as Abu Sadiq had listened to the sermon of Hajj and to the teachings of Ahmed al-Hassan, he informed us, he knew, he said, guys, I believe that this must be Imam al-Hussein, because I just made a video about it, and I know that Imam al-Hussein must come from Basra. And then lo and behold, I'm suddenly informed now that there is a Yamani character, the Yamani of the end times, who is the first Mahdi, who is the successor of the 12th Imam, comes forth from Basra, Ahmed al-Hassan. On top of that, we have hadiths that say al-Hussein is the successor of the 12th Imam in the Raja.
Exactly.
How else was he supposed to make sense of it? And he had informed us, and we held on to that belief of that possibility until that very fateful day here in this book in 2015, 4 years later, where Ahmed al-Hassan in his conversation with Abu Sadiq confirms, yes, my son, I am al-Hussein, from him is peace. That's epic. And there is no one that can make this. I mean, even Hollywood can't make this up. Bollywood can't make this up. Like, no Marvel movie, no nothing can make up this kind of amazing story and tale. And the orchestrator of the story and of this narrative and what's going on today in these end times is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the best of creators.
And that's what best of creators, and also we know He's the best of planners, that you can't write this stuff in.
You can't.
And it's beautiful because we have all these hadiths that talk about, when you take a step towards God, He takes 10 steps or 70 steps towards you, right? And that's exactly what you see in the journey of Abu Sadiq alayhi salam. You see a sincere searcher of truth that is going out, taking steps, just searching for God. And I know there's the story of, he's literally crying tears that basically, God, show me where you are, even if you're this religion, that religion, this here or there. No matter where you are, I'll find you, just please show me the way. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. He has he doesn't do it for any sort of personal gain. He just wants to be someone that worships God and finds God, right? And he goes on this journey, and through his journey from sincerity and from his actions and from being someone that practices what he preaches, he inspires, tens, 20s, 30s, 40s, hundreds of people, thousands of people now in this long, from then till now, to go out and to support him and to support this mission of finding God. And what does God do? He rewards that sincerity. He doesn't ever, let a sincere servant down. And he's then, goes on this journey, creates a community, finds Ahmed al-Hassan, and like everything comes full circle. Basically, that hero's journey that we always hear about. But this is such a beautiful sort of example of what happens when you take these steps towards God and you are one of these sincere servants. And this is something that we've kind of in our own smaller ways taken that journey, gone out, realised that we're upon falsehood and wanting to find God, and then it comes in our way that, hey, this is the way to God. Then we research it, we read it, and we're like, this is the way to God, and then we join that caravan. And we're here now, 9-10 years later from the rising of the black banners almost, and that we're calling you to make that same journey. And there is no such thing as coincidence, and just the way that you said that he was translating those exact verses of al-Haftar Sharif, and he comes across, his answer and who he thinks is the Imam, and this Imam is his guide character. There's no coincidence that if you're watching at home today, I've come across our show, that we have the book of the Imam, of Ahmed Hassan, of Abu Sadiq alayhi salam in front of you, and we're calling to you now to go out and to research and to read and to come on this path and join this caravan, and you do this same journey that we've been upon, because there is really nothing like it. As we just discussed, there is no actual scholars that are out there calling to anything that is worthy. If you look at the world today, we are living in the end times. Everything that is prophesied has pretty much come to pass. No matter where you look at it, there's wars, there's rumours of wars, there's the natural disasters, there's diseases, there's poverty, there's death. There's just, the world is in shambles, right? And there is only really one way, and there's only ever really been one way to get out of that, and that is to join the caravan, the ark, whatever you want to call it, and become, you know, protected under the umbrella of God, because again, the flood is coming, the end times are upon us, and it's time to sort of wake up and, you know, stop these like little rituals and going about your day, because that's just like circus acts in the eyes of God.
Yeah.
God says He doesn't need your prayers. So do you think Imam Hussein needs you to stand there and beat your chest and cry for him once a year? He doesn't. That doesn't make any benefit to him, nor to you, nor to anybody. So like, it's time to really just wake up and
if it benefits at all. It would have benefited in the time of the Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, when he was in jail while the people were going to do their latmiyas in Karbala. How does that make sense? While our Imams alayhi salatu wasalam in jail, and there is 4 guards on top, 4 guards, just got 4 guards guarding him. Can you imagine that? 4 guards guarding him. And that the thousands of Shias go to wars to do latmiyah. How does that make sense? It does not make any sense, brothers and sisters. Please, if you are a Shia, it's time to wake up. It's time to get up. It's time to think for yourself. It's time to let go of following of those rabbis and monks who are in the bodies of and under the titles of Ayatullah al-Udma, grand sign of God. The Mufti so-and-so, the Sheikh al-Sayyid al-Fadil al-Kada. This is the Sayyid, the master, this, like, forget about these titles. Come to the true masters, Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam. Ask them, how do we identify the Yamani? How do we identify a messenger of God? How do we identify the Egyptian? How do we identify the riser of the family of Muhammad? Ask these questions to them. It is possible to ask, and if you cannot do that, come to us, contact us, reach us out. We have a website that you can reach us out on. We have social media you can reach us out on. We have TikTok daily, every day, 3 times a day we go TikTok lives. You can access us. You can access us very easily, and we will give you all the sources, and you can go behind our backs and check every last one of whatever we give you of sources. Check it out. Take it to your scholars. Confront them about it. You are Shia, right? You want to be a Shia, right? A Shia would actually do something like this. A Shia would not sit at home and say, ah man, just another Mahdi claimer. You can never look at the matter of the Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, no matter if it's 1,000 million people who claim to be the Mahdis. You can never belittle this matter. Because you do not know when it's going to come your way. You have no idea. That's why, to some degree, I understand how you feel it's easier to just let go of it and let the scholars who are experts deal with it. But when people did that before you, when people in the past times did it before you, with Imam with the Imams alayhim salatu wassalam, with the prophets and the messengers alayhim salatu wassalam, they were always betrayed by those non-working religious scholars. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns us of these non-working religious scholars. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Sister Alex earlier said, something very interesting. She was looking into the science of man and how these, you know, because in Shia and Sunni Islam they believe in the science of man. And she was saying, like, Hussam, I was looking into it, I'm like, what is this thing? You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and to the Prophet himself, and if you follow through with behind, if you listen to the to majority of to those who are in the majority, they would misguide you the way. And these people, they sit down and they actually agree to the majority. You understand? But they follow, okay, no. The majority of our scholars agree. Well, the majority of the scholars are the majority. That means that you're following those who were told, the Prophet was told, do not follow. Because they're actually going to lead you astray. And we have the evidence for them leading us astray. It's not something like Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah are split about God, guys. The Shia are split. They're split very deeply. Like right now, you have a Shia that does not even believe that the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam can create. You have people who are saying that Khalifa is the first Khalifa is Abu Bakr and Umar. You know, so like you have to actually understand this is what's happening. It's time to rise. The
Quran makes it very clear. It makes it very clear when you read it that, as you said, if you follow most of the majority of the people of the earth, you will go astray. So question yourselves and think about it. What is that the majority of the people believe in? And if you find that the majority of the people, especially in your religion, do not believe in reincarnation, there's a problem. If you find that the majority of the people disbelieve that Imam Hussein is going to come back, we have a problem. If you find that the majority disbelieve in the will of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which names all of his successors, we have a problem. So investigate. Don't be ashamed to investigate. Because if you didn't investigate, well, then you would be like the people, like the Jews who did not investigate the character Jesus and then did not support him and got him nearly crucified. Or those like the companions of Imam Hussein that didn't investigate the claim of Imam Hussein from him his peace and allowed him to get massacred with 72 of his companions. And for those of today, yeah, for sure we're not going to get massacred. You know, we're not going to get, you know, our mission will be fulfilled. We will have a state. But whether it is with you or without you is up to you now. So take this call seriously, investigate us, and look into this matter very, very carefully without your scholars. And if you do have to bring it up to your scholars, know for a fact that if you do, and I guarantee that they'll tell you, this is all lies. They will tell you, this is all lies. Once they tell you that, be suspicious because I told you so. Because for sure they're going to say, yeah,
bring us their answers.
Bring us their answers. We'll be more than happy to hear it in the comment sections of the YouTube videos that we'll be checking out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.